Good morning, Tony. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. So I had a couple of questions about Freight Brokers Academy, if I may.
Yeah, certainly.
First question, why did you get into this business when you did all those years ago?
Good question. Well, I was in the trucking business. I was a minority owner of a trucking business, and I was the person that was doing um, all the dispatching. I was handling most everything. In fact, on the back end office, I was negotiating, finding loads for our trucks, scheduling the loads, working with the drivers, and that was a pretty intense thing when you're responsible for keeping the trucks moving. And we had several. We had refrigerated units, we had flatbeds and dry vans, and they were all over the country. It wasn't just local. And things would pop up every hour of the night or day, 7 days a week. So it was one of those things where, I would take calls on the weekends. I would take calls at night. I'd get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning because you had an emergency, truck broke down, something happened. And after a while, it became apparent to me that a simpler, easier, and possibly more profitable area of the industry to be in was the freight brokerage, because I noticed that the freight brokers that I dealt with, and I dealt with a number of them, didn't seem to work at night or on the weekends or on holidays. And if you even tried during the weekday, trying to get them too late in the day, you couldn't get them either. I said, that's the kind of job we need to be in. That's what I need to be doing, as opposed to working 7 days a week, every hour of the night and day. So that's the first, that's kind of what prompted me to explore the opportunities in the freight brokerage industry.
Okay. What made you want to start a training program for other people?
Well, when I got into the freight brokerage industry, I kind of got in it a little bit blind. It looked pretty simple and easy, but there are some things that you have to understand and know to be successful. And unfortunately, I didn't go to work for anybody else. I didn't go to work as an agent. I started out as a licensed bonded freight brokerage. So I spent the money up front to license my own firm and pay the bond and kind of learn from scratch. And unfortunately made a lot of mistakes up front, kind of learning by trial and error. And so it was kind of tough going initially, but did figure out eventually how to do the job, do the business successfully. And one of the things I wanted to do, because I had experience doing that in the past, is I wanted to recruit and train a sales force. I wanted to have freight agents working for us, because there's only so much you can do by yourself, even if you're really good in the business. So initially, I developed the training program that we now do for Freight Brokers Academy for my own sales force, my freight agents. And then once sold the business, I said, I've developed this great training program. It worked for my agents. Why not make it available to others? So that's kind of how Freight Brokers Academy started. We had this training program we developed for our in-house agents that we hired with no experience at all, from off the streets, and taught them the basics, taught them the keys to success, and figured no sense letting that go to waste. Other people could maybe benefit from that as well.
And what's included in the program?
Well, pretty much everything you need to know to get started in the business and be successful. We kind of step by step, you'll learn how to move a load from beginning to end. You'll learn all the keys to success. There's PDFs, stuff you can read. There's audio recordings from past live training sessions that we've done over the last 7 or 8 years. There's video training sessions that you can watch online anytime or download and watch them, whenever you so desire, even if you don't have internet access. It's pretty much gives you the basics. So even if you don't have any experience, you don't know anything about trucking, you don't know anything about logistics or freight, you'll understand what it takes to be successful as a freight broker, freight agent. And that's one of the reasons that we have so many freight brokerage companies out there that are willing to hire our graduates, even if they don't have any industry experience, because they know that when you finish Freight Brokers Academy, at least you understand the basics. You know what it takes, what you have to do to be successful.
Okay. How long does the program last for?
I think that's one of the great things about the program. It's self-paced. So we've had people that were working full-time, teachers, truck drivers, they're in the military, and they had no plans to start to work full-time in the freight brokerage industry until maybe several months down the road. So we've had people take their time slowly and take a couple months to complete it. We've had lots of our graduates, though, that were anxious to get started. They had time available, either they were in between jobs or they, had the time to devote to it. We've had people finish in 2 weeks or less that devoted several hours a day. So it is self-paced. It really pretty much depends on how much time you have to devote to it on a daily basis.
Will there be any tests for them to complete?
We do have quizzes at the end of each module, just to kind of help you. I mean, there's no pass or fail. It'll let you know if you answered a question wrong and give you what the correct answer is, let you go back in, because we want to make sure that you're getting what the important points are in each module, that you understand what the keys to success are and what the proper procedures are to do the job. So there are little mini quizzes at the end of each module, simply to make sure you're grasping the important points of each training segment.
And then what happens after they complete the course? What are their next steps?
Well, the final module of the course, we kind of have a transitionary, how to move from Freight Brokers Academy into the real world, kind of how to transition smoothly, quickly, easily, and what to do step by step, how to approach existing freight brokerage companies, what to say when you're in the interview process. And we even post ads from freight brokerage firms that are looking for new freight agents, as well as freight brokerage companies, some of which are owned by our own graduates from the past that are willing to hire our graduates, anyone that's got a certificate of completion without any previous industry experience. So we'll kind of help you move from just learning about the industry to actually getting a job as a freight agent in the industry. And then if you're interested in becoming a licensed and bonded freight brokerage, we have a special program that kind of gets into that a little more in depth. If you're looking to recruit and train your own sales force, for example, that's a little more involved, and to have your own license and bond that requires a little more money and investment on your part. So we have another program, the Freight Broker Business Success Program, that helps you take that to the next level.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to add about your program?
Well, I just think in general, the freight brokerage business, the industry right now, is booming. I don't think there's ever been a better time to get into the freight brokerage business. And I think if you check us out, you'll see from comments from our previous graduates and the people that are involved in the program right now that we offer the best online training program in the industry, bar none. There are very few online training programs where you have a chance to talk to live people. I mean, at least once a month, usually a couple times a month, I'm doing live training on a topic that's important for your success in the freight brokerage industry. And I have open Q&A sessions at the end where anybody that's got a question on any topic related to freight brokerage, whether it's you want to be a freight broker or a freight agent, you can get your questions answered. I have students all the time emailing me, texting me, or calling, and I'm happy to answer questions for any of our students at any time. So I just think that we offer something that's a little bit different and a little more personalized and customized than anybody else out there in the industry. And I think you'll find, if you check us out and look at the comments from our current and our former students, that you'll see that we offer the best in training in the freight brokerage industry.
Well, those are all the questions I have.
Well,
Thank you
happy
for
to have been
presenting.
of help. And as always, if there's anything I can do or anybody needs any additional information, I'm just a phone call or an email away.
Thank you.